Scrambler came out last year as its own brand with several models. Did you ever expect it to be as successful as it was?
Yes, somewhere yes. Maybe not in the quantity. But yes, we had in mind that we had a lot of good sign, a lot of positive response to the marketing activities, so it was very visible. But then the final numbers for the first year is yes, maybe a surprise somewhere. It's really a very good surprise. Everywhere in the world, not only here in the US or in North America, everywhere in the world.
I used to cover television back in the day, and there used to be a saying that imitation was the sincerest form of television. Is that true in motorcycles now? Imitation is the sincerest form of motorcycling, with other companies now saying, hey, Ducati had a hit, I have to have a Scrambler now?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody gonna make his own mind on the way to do the right thing and to build the right bikes. At least we have a lot of legitimacy with this motorcycle. As I say earlier, the bike was launched in the US in 1962. Coming back with a bike which is a reinterpretation. You remember last year what we said when we launched the Scrambler was we built the Scrambler as we never stopped the production. So if we had the Scrambler in the model line for the past 30 years, it would be probably the Scrambler that we have today. Then the fact that it's opening new world and new option for this industry, it's good because the first idea is also to make the motorcycle accessible for a young generation and for people that are interested by motorcycle but are not interested by the performance, the power, the speed and everything, which is very respectful, and the Scrambler is the answer.
Well, I shouldn't say this with Ducati, but it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. But looking at all the brands here and all the models, do you think there's ever been a time where there's been this variety of motorcycles?
No, and I'm very happy that it is like that, because more variety will bring on this market, better it is, because the choice is important. Everybody has his own interpretation of what should be motorcycling and what is fun, and you find the fun in different models. So I think the answer is really we never had so many models and everywhere in this industry, and it's very good.
What do you say to critics at this point who may say, yeah, you've come out with a smaller Scrambler, it's a great looking bike, but it's not priced low enough below the existing Scrambler. Is that a concern of yours?
No, it's not a concern, because we knew that we could not produce the 400 with the price, which is, because if you look at the engine, you'll see that it's an 800, which is just done graded in 400, and it's a real Scrambler. It's nothing very different than the original Icon. So we knew that we could not be competitive, and that's not the idea. The idea is that pricing, there are options in the market if you really want to buy a non-expensive motorcycle. It's not Ducati, it's not what we are able to do. We have a small production, we are producing 50,000, a little bit more now, 50,000 bikes per year. So the idea was that what we want is to give an alternative, to inspire and give an option.
As far as the X Diavolo, I rode the original when it came out, had a great time with it. You know, at that time it was described, kind of broadly as a power cruiser, even though it didn't have, feet forward, foot pegs. This is the next step for Diavolo. What is your hope that it will tap? Who do you hope that it will bring in that maybe didn't go for the original?
The first one was that we say it was a slight and step-by-step introduction in this market, because it's a completely different market. It's a huge market here in the US. With the Diavolo, we were very surprised at the launch of the bike that it was elected as the best cruiser of the market. Was it really a cruiser was a point of conversation. I think if you remember well, we even made an advertising campaign saying I'm not a cruiser, but now with the X Diavolo we wanted really to go one step further and really make a really introduction in this market. So we were going to tap is probably people that are very interested by all the codes of the cruising market, which is somewhere you want to cruise, you want to have the feet forward, the riding position. It's a very cool and comfortable riding position. But in the meantime, someone who's going to be very interested by the sophistication, by the electronics that we have on the motorcycle, by somewhere the type of performance And as you know, the bike have been equipped with the belt transmission, which is also another first for Ducati. We did everything in order to combine both worlds. That's the reason why we call it the X-Diavel, which is really the intersection in between the Ducati world and the cruising world.
One last question. I saw you on Bloomberg the other night, and the first clip they played was, I guess, the CEO of Volkswagen saying, well, you're not going to sell Ducati. Everyone knows about Volkswagen's problems with the diesel emissions and that whole horror story, as it were. You may be a small cog in the whole world of Volkswagen, but the fact that you have so many bikes that are just starting to come out now, does that put you in a better position given what Volkswagen is up against, or are you such a small cog that you don't have to worry about them saying, well, we need to cut their R&D, we need to rein them in a little bit? Are you in a good place now given Volkswagen's problems?
We have a very, very good R&D plan for the future. The next 5 years we will bring in the next 5 years very many new products, and the investment that have been made in the past 5 years and will come for the next 5 years will be very visible with all the models that we will introduce. So we have no concern about our ability to bring a lot of new models in the future.